Well, let's look at the rugby, lads, because it's Six Nations this weekend. You guys must be pumped.
Yeah, it's... Listen, the start of the Six Nations always fills every rugby fan with excitement. Even I think Italian rugby fans would be a little bit excited. But for England, and the whole Six Nations, actually, there's new coaches. Obviously, Gats is back with Wales. Steve Borthwick and Sir Kevin Sinfield and Nick Evans. Can't wait to see how England go. But just to get the juices flowing, that first game, the old enemy, we actually really care about this game now because we can't fucking win it. We've won it once in 5 years, haven't we? So I used to take the piss, and we've been going 7 years on this podcast now, haven't we, Jim? And at the start, we used to rip into Jim about, this is our year, this is our year. Jim said it every year, and I'm probably going to think he's going to say it again. But I'm just worried about us trying to beat Scotland because I've been so flippant on here over the years about beating Scotland, and we've had our arse handed to us a few times.
It's our year, lads. Scotland's year. This is it. This is it. Now, I can give a bit of a snapshot to the listeners, Goody, and I reckon there's a part of me that can convince you that we are a lot better than you're thinking. Even though England are just getting better, or whatever it is. What is it? They're just getting better.
Just get better every week. Week on week, get better.
Just because you're doing that. Just because you're doing that doesn't scare me, doesn't scare Scotland, because we've got England's number, it seems, at the minute. The only thing that scares me is that team talk of Sir Kevin Sinfield before the game, and anyone, man, woman, dog, creature would run through a wall for that man. So we're going to see a very different England team. But just for the English listeners, Scotland, we're a good team right now. We can go through the archives and joke about years gone by. Just a little snapshot, if I may. Beat England back-to-back, as we know. Easy pickings for us. Six Nations didn't go overly well for us last year, but think about what we've done in recent years. 2 years ago, we beat France in Paris.
In a dead rubber.
We say dead rubber. France had to win it by 21 points, and we were like, wow, can France win by 21 points and win the Grand Slam off Ireland? No, you can't. Scotland beat you in Paris. Pants down.
Empty stadium.
Well, empty stadium, whatever it was, we still beat France away. And other results, you go back to the Autumn Nation Series, one kick away from beating Australia. I don't know how much of a big deal that is, really, but Blair Kinghorn, fairly easy kick. We didn't beat Australia. We played unbelievably well against New Zealand. Okay, but we didn't win. But against Argentina, we put nearly 60 points on 6 men Argentina. So I am happy about that. If we look at the two teams, the form of Glasgow and Edinburgh. So Glasgow got a new coach, Franco Smith, madman apparently. Glasgow, good team. So Glasgow been doing really well in the URC. Big shout out to Dragons.
Big win at the weekend.
Yeah, that's what I mean. People calling us out for not talking about the Dragons. We just have all the Welsh teams. Dragons got hammered by Glasgow at the weekend. So Glasgow are a good team. Some of their players, Sione Tuipulotu in the centre is, I'd say, one of the form centres in Europe. He's brilliant, so he's definitely going to play.
Is he now Sione Muck Tuipulotu or not?
He's Muxione.
Muxione, is it?
Muxione.
I thought it was normally Muck for the surname.
No, but they go like, as in Scux is like Sean Maitland, and they go like Oos and all these things. So like Muxione sounds much more Hebridean. So he's in. So Glasgow going really well. Edinburgh, right? You go back 2 weeks ago, beat Saracens at home. I know what happened after, but they physically dominated Saracens. They also physically dominated Saracens at Saracens' place. They also beat Saracens the year before in the cup that no one cares about, which is the Challenge Cup. We're a good team. Like, we've got some good players, but we are missing our star player, Darcy Graham.
Yeah, true.
Duhan van der Merwe, he hasn't played in a couple of weeks because he's been getting married in South Africa.
Fit then?
Well, he's fit. Is he raring to go, though, with the travel? I'm putting an excuse in already. Hoggy, touch and go. He's not been playing. So is he going to be fit to go? Hamish Watson played at the weekend. I don't know if he'll start. Has he got enough in the tank for Gregor Townsend to start him? Luke Crosby's been unbelievable wearing the number 7 jersey and was class against Saracens as well. Pierre Schumann at Luced has been one of the form Luceds, I would say, in the world. We are struggling a little bit at hooker, and we don't really have a tight end. Well, we've got WP now, but he's about 46. But nonetheless, he's a great scrummager and he's a good bloke. But Xander Fagerson's been injured as well. So I wanted just to give the English listeners a snapshot of where we are. Gregor and Finn are best mates now, and it's our year, lads.
So hold on a minute. I'm just trying to work out that dissection with an open dirty cloth then of Scottish rugby. I can't work out whether you're bullish and thinking that Scotland are going to be great, but you've just got a load of excuses in there as well. Which one is it?
Well, that's what we do. There's always a but, isn't there? There's always a but. A couple of question marks around our team. Hoggy's struggling for fitness. Mentioned Darcy Graham, he is our best player. Scrum half and tight head. They're the issues where I'm wondering whether or not we've got enough talent coming through. But nonetheless, very excited for the game at the weekend because it is, for many people around the world, the biggest game on the calendar.
And I'm going to ask you one other question on it, Jim, and I generally mean this at the minute. The state of Scottish rugby and the state of English rugby and how England finished the autumn. Obviously, there's going to be a massive uplift, you hope, with Sir Kevin Sinfield, Steve Borthwick, Nick Evans coming in. I'm going to say it out here. Scotland are favourites, mate. It's coming down to Twickenham. You boys are favourites. You've won and held the Calcutta Cup for 4 out of the last 5 years. One was retained it because of the draw, obviously. But you're big favourites, Jim. Coming down to Aarhus.
Yeah.
Can you handle that pressure as favourites?
Yeah, you know what? We've won it that much that it doesn't really matter.
It does.
Not massively. Not massively. It's one of them things. It's like at some point it's got to go back, hasn't it? So
here's the excuses.
It'll be class. It'll be good to see what Twickenham's like with the new coaching staff and just basically with Sinfield there. I think he's reinvigorated England rugby.
That axis of 9, 10, 12 is going to be really interesting. And it's actually going to have a massive impact on how England play. I think they'd have worked on some serious fundamentals, as Steve Borthwick did at Leicester. So you can always count on, with Kevin Sinfield, a strong defensive line. I don't think that we're going to play too much from in our own half. It's going to be about winning this game. And Steve Borthwick's focus is purely, it's not on performance. It's not on necessarily, going from end to end and chucking the ball around everywhere. He just wants to get a W, right? So that's all he's talked about in his first 4 or 5 weeks as coach. Now, all he cares about is set piece, kicking, driving mauls, and then you can tag on the attack after that. So, yeah, I think Farrell at 10, he's our captain now. He's, the ultimate leader and all this stuff, ultimate competitor. He's got off his ban. I think we see him at 10 in his best position. And then, we might see Ollie Hassel-Collins on the wing, which would be really exciting. Max Malins deserves a shot on the other wing. Freddie Stewart probably picks himself at fullback. But what is interesting, he's brought Anthony Watson into the squad in replacement for Henry Slade, which makes me think actually that maybe they are thinking of Farrell as a centre, or maybe later in the game shifting Farrell to centre because they've got that cover there. So, yeah, I look at it and genuinely, I'm a bit nervous. Like I think Scotland are genuinely favourites coming down, and that sounds. You've won at Twickenham once in about 30 years or something. I don't know the exact stat, but that was only a few years ago as well. But the reality of it is Scotland are on a bit of a high in terms of, there's a lot of positivity around them. Jim said it. Greg is mates with Finn again. That's all that counts. Finn kicked the winner, clutch kick at the weekend as the siren went to win it for Racing against La Rochelle. There's no question marks about Finn Russell now. And he is a born entertainer that can pull the strings. Can Scotland handle the favourites tag? That's the big thing for me because I want to push the narrative all week. Scotland are favourites. Jim, your favourites. And you'll choke.
Pod.
Rugby Pod.